But it's 10:30, so let's turn to the business at hand and the reason we've gathered today. My name is Sarah Hancock. I am Communications Manager at Community Healthcare System, and it's my pleasure to be facilitating today. My aim is to keep us on time. We want to be respectful of Dr. Norman and everyone else who's assembled here because we know we have a lot of busy schedules. So thank you for taking time to join as we pause to recognize a successful collaboration that has helped solve some problems as all of our organizations have worked to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. Before we proceed with our agenda, I just want to acknowledge who's attending today. Hopefully I will be able to get everyone. I'm going to attempt to share my screen here so that we can view the list. And so we have Dr. Lee Norman, Secretary of the Kansas Department of Health and Environment. I believe Ashley was not able to join us today. I think she had something come up. We have Kendra Baldridge from KDHE and Denise Kelly from KDHE. So we're so glad all of you could join us. From our organization, Community Healthcare System, we have our CEO, Todd Willard, on with us today. We have Michael Bomberger. He wears two hats on this call today. He is a vital part of our CHCS team and is also chair of the Northeast Kansas Healthcare Coalition. In addition, we have quite a few other staff members from CHCS. We have our Chief Nursing Officer, Mindy Olberding. I believe Melissa Talley is not with us today. We have Roz Lewis, our Director of Ancillary Services, Eduardo Botufo, our Laboratory Manager, Kaylin Muting, our Surgery Manager, and Amanda Thompson, our Patient-Centered Medical Home Coordinator. From K-State, Kansas State University, we have Dr. Beth Montalone. We're so pleased to have her able to join us today, Senior Associate Vice President for Research. And we have Dr. Jun-Kun Kim, who is has quite a long title these days, but Assistant Professor and Keystone Research Scholar in the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering at the Kansas State University Carl R. Ice College of Engineering. We also have Erin Pennington, the Communications Coordinator from the Office of the Vice President for Research at K-State. And from the Healthcare Coalition, Danielle Martin, the Readiness and Response Coordinator. I believe Dr. Lillian Lockwood is joining us, and I know Jeremy is on the call. Jeremy Brandt, those are our co-clinical advisors for the Healthcare Coalition. Michael, as previously mentioned, Andrew Adams from Riley County Public Health, the Public Health Emergency Preparedness Coordinator. Sonia Jordan, also from the Lawrence Douglas County Public Health, and Tammy Wood, who is one of the co-owners along with Danielle of the Healthcare Coalition Partners of Kansas. So I hope I didn't miss anyone. If I did, now is a great time to let me know. Did I miss anybody? Okay, excellent. Well, let's proceed then. We're going to hear some brief remarks, and we will start with Dr. Lee Norman.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. First off, it's a pleasure to be here. I can't stick around too very long. It needs to get on with my day, but I wanted to, it's really important to me on behalf of KDHE to thank Dr. Montalone and Dr. Kim, both from K-State, as you know, for their contribution in helping solve a problem that we had during this pandemic with COVID-19, and that was a short supply of a particular item, the nasal swabs, which I have one in my hand, I might add. You would not think that something so simple and so critical to the work we needed to do, particularly at a time when the supply chains were dried up, the FEMA was taking everything that was supposed to come our way and shipping it to California and New York, and I understand that. I mean, but it was leaving us in the lurch, and I'm really quite grateful for the clever thinking. Without these swabs, it would have brought the process of testing to a halt. And it was at a time when, you know, and I have a graph behind me, I won't bore you with it, but few cases, and then the Nike swoosh exponential growth phase of a virus. And when we needed to rapidly test, isolate, quarantine, then retest. And we would have something as simple as this. And by the way, I did hold this up at a press conference that the governor and I did, and it got play not only in local press, but far beyond that. And not just for it really is very illustrative, I think, of that something kind of minor can really stop the presses. And it was very critical to this. The Northeast Healthcare Coalition, Community Healthcare Systems, and K-State University met this need in a very creative way, which provided these much needed swabs, not just to KDHE, but we provided them to hospitals, clinics, et cetera. The work of Dr. Beth Montalone and Dr. Jun-Kun Kim exemplify, I think, what is a superb collaboration. Really appreciate it. One tidbit, this afternoon I'm going to be interviewing with a historian and from the Kansas Historical Society. And when you think about it, there's been a lot of comparisons made between the pandemic in the early 1900s. Dr. Samuel Crumbine, who's a real father of modern public health in Kansas, 20 years, I think he was in essentially the same role. And what they're already starting to do is to gather information. The Historical Society, maybe you've seen me in the press in a white coat. And what they've already asked is for me to donate a white coat to the Historical Society. I'm going to do that. And I'm also going to donate this. So this will be entering the archives that 100 years from now, somebody's going to say, think where we'll be in 100 years, how much different, everything will be. But they'll say it's remarkable back in the primitive era of 2020 that something could stop the presses. And yet these guys, men and women, put their heads together and with a lot of collaboration showed that ingenuity can help with something as important as identifying a pandemic illness. So this exact one, I'm going to miss it when it's gone because I fiddle with it every day. Maybe I can find another one. It's kind of like my worry beads, except it's a worry swab. But this will go into the Historical Society archives, my white coat. I've got a few saliva containers that we will, I'm sure, be using soon for PCR testing. And I'm sure it'll look like a stone chisel from Neanderthal days when somebody's looking at this 100 years from now. But for now, believe me, these things really helped us to get through this. So thank you again, you guys, you two docs at K-State. Yes, I'm a faculty member at KU, but we accepted your help greatly and are very appreciative. So thank you very much. And the rest of you on this, I know you all had a piece of this too. So thank you all very much on behalf of the KDHE. And I know the governor would voice my same thanks. So thank you. Over.
Thank you, Dr. Norman. I'm pretty sure we could get you as many worry swabs as you need because we want to keep you as worry-free as possible. Next up on our list is the Community Healthcare System CEO, Todd Willard. So Todd's going to share a few thoughts with us next.
Better be unmuted first. We're all learning that in this Zoom world these days. So, Dr. Norman, you're a difficult man to follow, but I did want to start out by just saying, one, it's great to have a fellow University of Minnesota grad on this call. So go Gophers. And in all fairness, my daughter attended Kansas State University. So just in fairness to everybody here. So I think I can please all parties. But anyway, Dr. Norman, I want to just start out by thanking you and your team for your leadership throughout this pandemic. I love listening to you talk about what we need to do as a state to battle this. You've been very candid, which I appreciate. You've been a very strong and consistent voice for healthcare organizations and the citizens of Kansas. And I just want to say that we are so fortunate to have your guidance at this very difficult time. So again, from all of us, thank you for all that you do for the state and for our citizens. I also wanted to thank Dr. Beth Montalone and Dr. Kim for giving us CHCS hope early on in this pandemic. I have to tell you, when it was announced that Kansas State University would be producing the 3D swabs, you could just feel the change in the air that happened around here. You know, the COVID pandemic is not a fun thing to be a part of. None of us enjoy it. And there's been a high level of frustration from day one. And one of the things that we noticed is that we were always reacting to the crisis. We never seemed to be able to get out ahead of it. And now all of a sudden, with the ability to produce this 3D swabs, we finally felt that we were doing something proactive. And that just made everybody feel so good around here and gave everybody a lot of hope. You know, as Dr. Norman mentioned, from the beginning of COVID-19, we knew that testing was going to be the key to mitigation and containment. However, as Dr. Norman pointed out, the basic tool for the test, the nasopharyngeal swab, was in critically short supply. There were a lot of days when we weren't sure if we were going to be able to perform tests because we were missing that simple little swab that he was showing everyone. And that's very frustrating as a healthcare organization. At one point in time, we had heard that dentists were given authorization to make 3D printed swabs. And we just asked the question, so why can't we do that? And I also knew that major universities typically had the necessary printers that would be needed to make the 3D printed swab. So I turned to Michael Baumberger, who's the director on our team, and Michael said, you know what, let me take this over. So he did all of the research, all of the talking to the companies. He really dogged this thing from day one to really figure out how do we get the templates and the formulas to make these swabs, and then how can we participate? And obviously, Michael was very successful on that. Michael is successful in anything he does. So once we completed that part, we really needed to get a contact at Kansas State. Well, we're just very fortunate to have Sarah Hancock on our team as a communications manager. She has a lot of strong relationships at K-State. And I remember when Sarah and I were talking early on about this, we said, you know, who do we got to contact? And I'm gonna paraphrase this a bit, but I think she basically looked at me, she says, if anyone can make this happen, Beth can make this happen. And that started this whole relationship. You know, Sarah was our point person throughout this entire process, working with the university and with Michael. I just sat in the background and let them do what they do best. And, you know, to date, we have used a lot of the 3D printed swabs that have been manufactured at K-State. We've had great success with the nasopharyngeal swabs. And I'm really happy to say that no longer are nasopharyngeal swabs a barrier to us being able to perform the tests. And again, I just want to thank all of you on this call for your hard work on that, because it is so important for us to be able to know that every day if somebody comes in, meets the symptoms, we can do the test. So I also would be remiss if I didn't thank a lot of my team here at CHCS. And again, I'm not going to mention everybody, but Eduardo, Melissa, Kaylin, and all of the others who helped support this project, who didn't say, you guys are crazy, who said, we can do this. And then they had the real hard work of operationalizing this. So once we get the swabs, how do we make them safe to get them to an individual and to a patient? And so they really worked hard on that. So again, in closing, I just want to say thank you to everybody. I think this project really does demonstrate the creativity and the collaboration that is needed if we are going to combat this virus successfully. Thank you. Sarah, I'm going to turn it back to you.
Thanks so much. That was great. So Dr. Beth Montalone, if anybody can make this happen, you can. It's your turn.
Well, it helps to have been at K-State for 32 years and to know everybody and to know where the bodies are buried, so to speak. I probably shouldn't say that's around Dr. Norman. But anyway, when Sarah contacted me and reached out about this issue, I floated it to the units that I knew had the capacity to do 3D printing, and both Dr. Kim and Dr. Lynn, who's not here today, stepped up and said, yeah, we have the right kind of printers. And I've got to say that they're examples of the attitudes of a lot of the faculty here at K-State. You know, we were shut down. Everybody was working remotely. People didn't have access to their labs unless it was mission critical work. And everybody wanted to help somehow because, you know, even though our faculty were all doing their research and research analysis remotely and teaching classes remotely, they still felt like they wanted to be part of the effort as well. And so, you know, it's just typical of our faculty, the effort that Dr. Kim and Dr. Lynn put into this. So I'm very appreciative of them as exemplars of our faculty. And this is just something K-State has done throughout its history. I mean, we are the land-grant college for the land-grant university for the state of Kansas. And it's in our mission to do research and extension for the greater good. We also have, you know, been very successful in creating university industry and university community organization partnerships. And we're all the better for it, the state and the university. So it was a pleasure to be involved with this project. And I really appreciate the efforts, particularly of Michael Baumberger, because he really made it possible for us to be able to do this, and of Sarah for providing the glue for this project. And of course for Dr. Kim, because he went above and beyond. He had materials mailed to his personal residence so that he could do this printing. He himself is personally supervising this process. So it's just a fantastic effort from him. So thank you to all of you.
So Dr. Kim, you get to be next after that fabulous introduction. And I know Dr. Kim he's so modest. It probably pains him to hear us all speaking so highly of him, but Dr. Kim, we really want to hear from you next.
All right, thank you. Yeah, it is like a very meaningful opportunity to me. Like everybody is appreciating, but I also appreciate a lot because willingness without an opportunity is just like a dream. My research was centered for the 3D microfabrication. So the making 3D swab was relatively easy for me, but without the opportunity, I could not join, and this is very meaningful. And for that, I am really grateful and thankful to everyone who support these projects. And not only just participating in this meaningful opportunity, but that also inspired me another viewpoint of the research that triggered me into the another type of the National Science Foundation research work recently related to the biofield. I recently started with the smart stand, and that is the now program manager recommended but not officially announced it yet. But this program is building a smart stand implantable inside the body. That stand we implant inside the body and powered by the blood pressure. One of the challenges was where I can get the biocompatible material. And that was the struggling because the most resin has been known as the non-compatible to the body or anything. But I grabbed this opportunity without intention to do the research from this. But I came to know from Michael and from Home Lab Resin that they already commercially selling these biocompatible resins. So not only participating in this opportunity, but also that will expand my research capability. This is so amazing. So thank you for all supporting this project, and also thank you for the great new 3D printer that you can see at my backside. That's the brand new, and it is printing actually inside. If you see, that's the Form 2, and this is the Form 3B. This is currently working on. Right? They're the hard worker, not me. These printers, when I sleep, they keep working. And I also want to mention some special thanks to Mr. Michael Baumberger for his time and effort especially himself, visited my lab multiple times, not only one or two, multiple times for the long distance driving to pick up those swabs. And also the 3D printers for the organizations. And another special thanks to the Dr. Montalone, because he has been initiating this project at K-State side, and he resolved all the complicated rules and regulations which allow me to print out these swabs. And those rules, regulations, I really don't know, but she's an expert. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kim. I think you win the background competition for the day for sure, because even though Michael has a very nice background too, that I hope everyone takes time to admire, Dr. Kim, we love seeing those printers, and we're so thrilled that we were able to help you out a little bit too. And we look forward to hearing more great things about your work and accomplishments in the future. So we're so pleased to have worked with you. And we're going to move on next. We have a few more minutes. So we're going to hear briefly from Danielle Martin from the Northeast Kansas Healthcare Coalition. Danielle.
Well, good morning. Thank you everyone for joining today. And as we all know, we had a supply shortage. We've talked about it here due to some unforeseen circumstance, I think is the easiest way to put it. And basically, we at the Healthcare Coalition have been working to try to connect the members, so our healthcare organizations, with these suppliers. And that has been quite the challenge over the last few months. If anyone ever wants any fun stories about how supplies have been procured, I go clear from normal supply chains to speedboats across the ocean from China. So it's been really a new world that we've all been working on. And I have to say, as we've been talking about the supplies and what we've been able to procure, the part of it that has been a little bit scary is the fact that we don't know the timeline of supplies of when we've ordered them and when they will come in, and then the safety of them as well. As we've all seen with some of the other products like the hand sanitizer, some of those safety efforts measures were not put into place. And that's what makes me so happy and proud of this project, is that we were able to serve Kansans not only in a efficient manner, but a safe manner to the patients as well. And we could not have done that without our partnerships with KDHE. So I just have to say, this is my plug for Denise Kelly, that I really think at KDHE, you made the best decision that you could have made when you hired her on as the preparedness program director. So I thank you for that. But also the pre-established relationships then with Michael Baumberger, with Andrew Adams, our vice chair, with KSU, the relationships that they had there. And everyone was plugging their universities. So as Dr. Norman said, he's bipartisan. Well, I have to say I'm one that doesn't pick a university, I guess. I have a degree from both K-State and KU, so I can fall in on the K-State crowd here as well. But I just wanted to say thank you, and especially to our lead hospital. You know, Todd, you've been wonderful to work with. Your support for the Healthcare Coalition and for the safety of Kansans has not gone unnoticed, and I don't think we could have asked for a better lead hospital. And your support of allowing us to have Jeremy as well as a clinical advisor. So I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the relationships here. I hope we continue. And I know that we all would not be in the positions we are in if we did not have a heart to help others. And so I look forward to seeing this continue to grow. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Danielle. I wanted to offer, if KDHE has any if anyone from there wants to say anything else, or Michael, you can let me know if we've missed anything.
Good.
Sarah, this is Kendra. I have a letter and would be willing to read that, but I wondered if you might want to do the screenshot, because I know Dr. Norman's getting off right at 11.
Oh, okay, great. Michael is going to take some screenshots of our Zoom meeting so that we'll have some photos to share. So everybody smile. Michael, are you ready?
Sure. Let's, I don't know, maybe everyone say cheese, right? So
Yeah,
on three,
everybody.
1, 2, 3. And maybe let's do it one more time. And again, we'll say kerfuffle this time. All right, wonderful. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. All right, go for it. Read the letter.
Okay. So this is a letter on our letterhead that Dr. Norman signed. So the Kansas Department of Health and Environment recognizes Kansas State University faculty and administration in the community healthcare system for their commitment to work together with the Northeast Healthcare Coalition to successfully fill the supply chain gap of nasopharyngeal swabs within the Northeast Healthcare Coalition region. The work of Dr. Montalone and Dr. Kim exemplify the superb contributions and collaboration with multiple partners spanning government and the private sector regarding supply shortages. Thank you for your efforts in helping fight against COVID-19.
That's very nice and much deserved. Thank you so much to all of you. Very nice, Michael. Okay, and with that, I think we've accomplished what we came together to do this morning. And thanks again to everyone for taking the time, and for all of you for being great team members. And best wishes as we all continue to forge ahead, despite uncertainty and difficulties, to protect the health of our state. Thank you, and have a great weekend.